Hello Giants fans, welcome to Giants Baseball 101. I'm Gabe Vaughn, your host. Well, it may be hard to believe, but we have reached the last Giants Baseball 101 episode of the 2022 season. And I just want you to be informed that the schedule for the off-season will be every Monday evening. That's when I invite you to join me on Giants Baseball 101. It'll be a once-a-week schedule for the off-season, and I'll still be answering any questions that I get in the comments, as well as discussing what the Giants can do to upgrade to their roster and what free agents they should sign and all of that. So that's a schedule for the off-season every Monday evening. And then, if all goes as planned, it'll be spring training of 2023, and we start up doing this again after every Giants game. But it's our last Giants Baseball 101 episode as far as the regular season goes. The Giants beat the Padres today. Sorry, I don't want to say Pirates again. That happened once. I've had enough of that. The Giants beat the Padres today 8-1. So they scored 8 runs. Really got those bats going. Austin Slater had a home run for the Giants, and David Villar had 2 home runs, and that is quite a good way for David Villar to end his 2022 season. He's probably pretty happy about that. He's looking for a spot on that 2023 roster, trying to prove himself as a prospect. And what a way for Villar to end his season. In his final game, to hit 2 home runs. I'm sure he's happy to make such an impression. And the Giants are going to have to keep a watch on him because he's done some pretty serious things, gotten some key hits, shown some power late in 2022. So the Giants should be keeping a watch on him in the 2023 spring training. And he could be a serious candidate for the 2023 opening day roster. We're just going to have to see how that one plays out with David Villar. He definitely showed the stuff that he has today, that's for sure. So it'll just depend, I think, on the roster needs. Do they need an infielder, whether he's, and maybe it'll just be a bench spot for him, whatever it is, whether they decide they can afford to have him there sitting on the bench, that's his best spot to make the opening day roster, or whether he does carve out a spot in the 2023 starting lineup. Any of those things are possible. I think it's just going to depend on, like it does for pretty much any prospect, what the roster's needs are at the time and what roles they think he is capable of filling. So we'll see with Villar. It was a bullpen day for the Giants. John Brebbia opened it again. He gave up 1 run, and the rest of the bullpen, including Junior Marte, who pitched 2 innings, they held the Padres down to 1 run. I did want to go over the way this season went for the Giants. In spring training, it looks like one of their strengths was a strong rotation with starting pitchers Logan Webb, Carlos Rodon, Alex Wood, Anthony DeSclafani, and Alex Cobb. And that in spring training, they all made impressive showings, and it looked like everything was going to be good, but didn't exactly turn out that way because Anthony DeSclafani didn't perform like was expected. Then he had ankle surgery to end his season. He was out. Alex Wood, too, did not perform as well as the Giants really needed him to. Just not a great season overall. From my perspective, from Wood, he wasn't looking like he did in spring training and didn't pitch well enough to really be considered a good part of the rotation. Alex Cobb, he had, it was a bit of the same thing with him, not the best in the first half. His ERA is, I think, 3.79 for the year, so obviously that's solid, but anyway, I think the rotation as a whole just didn't turn out the way it was supposed to, and that's disappointing when you think your team has a strength and it doesn't turn out to be one. Giants did open 2022 hot, though. Then they got on some losing streaks that were bad. They managed, though, to keep a winning record for a long interval of time. Then, right before the deadline, and they were thinking of getting Juan Soto at the trade deadline, which would have truly drastically helped their team, but the week before the deadline, they got on a hot streak, got swept every day in a whole week, 7 straight games, and that kind of dashed their hopes of buying at the deadline, although they did hold on to Carlos Rodon. And the season after that, it just was unimpressive. They got back into the running once, but then they fell out of it again, and when they had a hot streak at the end of the season, it was too late. So this 2022 season was a bad one that can't be repeated. Farhan Zaidi said he's going to try to fix things by having a big off-season, and that's what we'll be seeing. That's what we'll be talking about every Monday night. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Giants Baseball 101, and I'm sure that a lot of you are going to miss this, but we will be back. I'll be back reporting on every Giants game if everything goes as planned, which I know it doesn't always, but if everything goes as planned, I'll be back at the start of spring training in 2023. Again, thank you for watching. This has been Giants Baseball 101. Please subscribe if you haven't. And in our next meeting, Monday of next week, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might leave in the comments. Thank you. I'll see you next time on Giants Baseball 101.